this is your RPG Archivist, taking a break from learning lines for a show at the Port Arthur Little Theater. Another shout out to Mr. Welch, who is working on the Mystara Player's Handbook. I'm supporting that to the best of my ability. I hope you check out the link that I intend to put it in the description if you didn't check out the link in the last video. Anyway, today's video, Lamentations of the Flame Princess. That's an interesting cover. It says, Lamentations of the Flame Princess, weird fantasy role-playing. You look on the spine, it's got a number 1 on it. FYI, I don't think they ever made a number 2. Number 1 says Rules and Magic. Who knows what number 2 would have been? Maybe the Bestiary, maybe a GM's Guide, I don't know. But it's been years, and I don't think they're ever going to release that second book, assuming they never did. I really don't think they did. So what is this? This is an OSR style role-playing game. Hardback. Nice, thin, concise. I like it. This is, if you know how to play Dungeons & Dragons, you know how to play Lamentations of the Flame Princess. There's just the nuances you have to get around. Now, it says weird fantasy roleplay. I've got the pages marked. This time, not just to highlight certain spots, but to avoid opening the book to some of the, well, let's just say some of the art's kind of risque. Which is odd, because the rule set is very straightforward. You could easily play this game without having any particular weirdness happen. It's the artwork that's weird. But I'll talk more on that later. Let's get into the whole rules of it. And I hope those sirens going off in the background don't bother you, but I'm not going to take another take if I can help it. Okay. Let's go to character creation. It's basically 3d6. There's no mixing them up, shuffling them around, or any of that. You roll 3d6 in order. The only caveat is if your modifiers do not add up to 1 or more, you get to re-roll them all over again. Another interesting aspect is attack bonuses. Only the fighter gets to go up an attack bonus, which I kind of like, because that gives the fighter, make sure that the fighter is the go-to guy for anything martial. Let's see, we got, where is it? I've already lost my page, and I'm risking turning a page to something gruesome. Oh, alignments, that's good. Basic Beckme style alignments, lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Clerics are always lawful. Elves and magic users are always chaotic. Let's see. Where did I not? Oh yeah, here we go. Cleric, fighter, magic user, specialist, dwarf, elf, halfling. The specialist doesn't exactly replace the thief. They gave it a name change because really the thieves are kind of specialists. Let me flip over to the specialist. Here we go. There's your specialist. They get, well, this set of skills. Some of these you'll recognize, some of them you won't. A little sneak attack, got your stealth, and tinker, and architecture, and bushcraft, and all kind of neat stuff. And you get to roll a d6, and they all start at a 1 in 6 chance of success. And if I remember correctly, that'll go up as you play. By the way, this is a read-only review. I haven't actually played this game. I just know I'll like it. Okay, let's flip forward. Maritime Adventures. This is a curious thing. You got this nice, thin, concise book, and a lot of fantasy RPGs wouldn't even consider to get into Maritime Adventures. You know, seafaring. Just thought I'd point that out. That's kind of neat. I'm going to flip forward some more. Here's an old idea from back in the day, retainers. And retainers have a very... there's a lot more broadness to your retainers than in the old Beckme days. Like in Beckme, this is expected, the players are expected to want to start running their own domains. And there's some rules in here for running your own domains. You could just become like a baron and just gather taxes and send other people on quests if you want. It's kind of a neat idea. Oop, let's not. In the middle of the book, there is a series of pictures. These are the less gruesome ones. I love this one. That's really cool. Most of them I can't show you. Well, I could, but then it's not like I'm worried about getting demonetized, because I don't expect to be monetized. But, you know, just out of common courtesy, I guess. Or maybe I'm just a big wuss, I don't know. One or the other. But these art pieces are really nice. Notice the girl with the red hair. She looks a lot like this person. Girl with the red hair shows up a lot. Apparently she dies a lot, comes back, and dies again. I guess this is the Flame Princess. Anyway, let's continue. Now, I was telling you these rules are pretty straightforward and pretty concise. There's really nothing weird about the rules. It doesn't get weird till you get into the magic. Strange Waters is a good one. Strange Waters is a level 3 spell. You get this big giant, you cast the spell, you get a big giant sphere filled with 20 fish. And as you swallow a fish, you get one random effect. Most of the effects are pretty good, but the very first effect that you could get, number 1, the fish is poisonous, save versus poison, or die. Yeah, that's how old school this game is. Save versus death. Oh, saving throws. Yeah, they go back to the old style saving throws. You know, I'm not going to go back. Paralysis, poison, petrification, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's an example of some of the magic user type magic. The really weird one is summon. You get to summon creatures, and you might get what you're looking for. But if you're not careful, or if you're very unlucky, you might get one of these existential horrors. I just recommend just read the summon spell. It's pages long. But of all the things that gives you an indication of what Lamentations is all about, I think summon really expresses that. So, weird fantasy roleplay. Rule set not so weird. They try to convey the weirdness through the art. The art is gruesome. It's weird. Your real weirdness comes in all the other books that you buy after it. And I'll be honest, I don't own but one of the other books. And that's a Red and Pleasant Land, which I may or may not get to. But from what I've read about them, that's where your weirdness really comes in. They've got titles like Death, Frost, Doom, and Sky Fortress Broodmother. Those are some cool names. I'm sorry, I gotta give it to them. They've got some good titles. And one of these days I would like to run a campaign of this and use some of the adventures that I've been reading about, because these adventures sound amazing. So that's pretty much sums up what I know of Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I hope you found this somewhat interesting. I know there are better reviews out there. Yeah, I think that sums everything up. I'm just going to call it quits. So after just hit the 10-minute mark, I'll catch you next time.